So you're moving to Atlanta, but where do you live? That is the question I get every single day. And it's okay, if you are new to Atlanta and you have no idea of where to start, but you want to live in the city or somewhere ITP inside the perimeter, well then this video is for you. I'm going to hop on a map, show you all the different areas and talk about them briefly. So maybe that'll give you a better idea of where you want to live or maybe where you don't want to live. So stay tuned, we're talking all about living in Atlanta right now. Hey there, my name is Molly and welcome to my channel. If you want to follow along about living here in the Atlanta area, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you're making a move here and you need further help with your future home purchase, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. I'm here to help you out. Okay, we're going to talk about living here inside the perimeter. I'm not going to cover suburbs. That's just not where I hang out, live, work, and play. I'm talking all things here in the city. So if you're looking to live inside the perimeter, maybe it's just because you want a short commute to work or you just want to be close to city living, well, then this video is for you. So let me just hop on a map right now and we'll get going. Okay, so here is the map of the city of Atlanta. And like I said, I want to talk about areas inside the perimeter or inside the I-285 loop because that is primarily where I live, work, and play. So we're going to talk about all the areas in here. And one thing I will remind you is that even though I will say Atlanta, we're actually talking about a combination of several different cities. Atlanta is basically kind of roughly this area, and then we have a bunch of other cities inside the perimeter. We have the city of Brookhaven, we have city of Decatur, there's Vinings, there's East Point, etc. So a lot of other cities are inside the perimeter, but a lot of people just all call it collectively Atlanta. But I'm just going to start kind of at the northern end of the city and we'll go from there. Historically speaking, the north side of the city is more of the affluent area. This is where you're going to find Buckhead. Now, if you've heard anything about Atlanta, you've probably heard of the Buckhead area. This is one of the bigger areas in Atlanta, and it's roughly kind of like this whole area. There's tons of neighborhoods that make up the Buckhead area, but you're just going to generally find pretty areas. People really take care of their yards. Really nice neighborhoods. You can get these big homes. Tuxedo Park is probably one of the fanciest neighborhoods with the big mansions and big acreage lots, and you'll find like celebrities living in this area. A lot of this area, you'd be surprised, is very woodsy, so you get a very private feel in here. Lots of space to spread out between your neighbors. I really like Chastain Park. This whole area that right here, this green space, is a park and it has tons of amenities here. So this Chastain Park is a popular area to live in. You can get some big homes in here, and keep in mind a lot of these areas are going to be expensive. You're going to start in the over the $1 million range, and they definitely go up from there, especially if you're getting into the Tuxedo Park area. You can see homes getting into the $10 million to $12 million range. So things definitely get pretty pricey in these areas. I would say, like, if you want to get in Buckhead, maybe your budget's not like up to $2 million yet, but you just want to crack into the area. A lot of these southern Buckhead neighborhoods is a great place to kind of get your foot in the door and get into the neighborhood. The prices are a little bit lower. So I'm talking like Garden Hills, Peachtree Hills, Spring Lake, Wildwood. These are really nice areas. Collier Hills. The homes are going to be closer together. You're going to get a lot of older homes, some that have been renovated, have some character. You'll find some newer homes as well, but price point starting, you'll find them more in the maybe 900K range, but more likely over that $1 million mark, and then it goes up from there. But like I said, if you're just trying to get into the neighborhood, focus on these areas that are kind of in the southern Buckhead region, and you'll have more options than if you're looking up here in the northern areas. That's where things definitely get pretty pricey. Now, the big commercial district in Buckhead is right here. It's kind of along Peachtree Road and the intersection of Roswell Road right here, Piedmont. This is Highway 400, Lenox. So all of your shopping, a lot of your restaurants, that's going to be right here in this commercial district. And I think people always think Buckhead is all concrete and high-rise condos, and it's really not. It's kind of contained into this area, although as you go down this Peachtree Road, yes, you're going to find a sprinkle of high-rise condos all along here and then down into the Midtown area. So that is kind of the northern end of this area in a nutshell. If we skip over Highway 400, we're going to get into the area of Brookhaven. Brookhaven is its own city, and it spans roughly kind of like right up and through here, all the way up to I-285. So lovely area. You know, if you're not finding something in the Buckhead area, maybe it's a little too expensive, jump over and look in the city of Brookhaven. Still some great neighborhoods in here. I really like Ashford Park, Drew Valley, Brookhaven Fields. You can get some newer homes built in the last 10 to 15 years and have a garage, have a decent sized yard. The neighborhoods are all really nice. It has more of a homogeneous look. There's still some ranch homes kind of hanging around, but nice ranch homes. So these are the areas I'm talking about: Ashford Park, Drew Valley, Brookhaven Fields. There's a shopping center right over here called Town Brookhaven. So it's got like a Publix, some casual restaurants. It's one of the only Costco's inside the perimeter. So if you're looking for a Costco, this is where you would go. So I would say Brookhaven isn't like super walkable. It's just really nice neighborhoods. There are some nice green spaces up on the northern end. You've got Murphy Candler Park. There is the Blackburn Park right here. Both of them have some baseball fields. Actually, Murphy Candler Park has tons of baseball fields, and then the Blackburn Park has more like walking trails and some baseball fields and tennis courts. And Murphy Candler Park also has a nice lake there. So very pretty area. And I like some neighborhoods over in here. This is actually part of Chamblee, but this area right here is called Sexton Woods, and here you're going to find a combination of ranch style homes and new builds, and the new builds will range in anywhere from like I'd say 1.1 to 1.5 million, which is actually a little bit better than if you were looking over in this Ashford Park area. You'd pay probably a little bit more to be in this Ashford Park area. I feel like this Sexton Woods area is just a little bit behind the Ashford Park area. But this is a nice little area. Keswick Village is right in here. A small little area, but it's all around this Keswick Park, which is nice. It's got some tennis courts, some green space, playgrounds, and there's even a little trail right here. It's called the Chamblee Rail Trail that you can connect and do some shopping. There's like a Whole Foods over here, some other casual places to eat, and then over in the downtown Chamblee area off of Peachtree Road, there's some other little restaurants right around here. So you get a little bit of walkability if you live like over in this area. Right up in this corner, this is a little neighborhood. A lot of people may not know about it. It's called Huntley Hills. I think this is a great place to live. You know, if your budget's more in that, you know, upper 4s to low 600K price range, there are a lot of, they're going to be smaller ranch style homes, or maybe some mid-century modern style looking homes, but they're going to be smaller square footage. You know, you're not going to get 4,000 square feet homes. You're going to get probably anywhere from 1,100 to 2,000 square feet, but pretty area over here, just kind of tucked away from all of the commercial stuff. Okay, moving right along. One thing to watch out for is right in this little area, there is a new place called The Assembly. I think it's going to be opening up this summer of 2024. But in here, this is like a production studio. It's huge, it's massive. And not only will there be, you know, filming production studios here, but they're going to have like restaurants, and there's a park that you can walk through. So I think this is going to really help make this Chamblee and Doraville areas explode, because I think I heard it's predicted to bring in like 4,000 jobs. So a lot of people, if they're working over here, they're probably going to want to live over here. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth in these areas. Now you may be seeing this, DeKalb Peachtree Airport. Oh my gosh, I don't want to live by an airport. This is an active airport for all of those private jets that come in. And I will say, yes, if you kind of live in this corner of Ashford Park right here, the prices usually are a little bit better than if you lived kind of in this heart of Ashford Park. But if you live up here, you'll get a little bit of a discount, but you will hear a little bit of that engine noise revving. And I'm sure after you live there a day or two, you get really used to it and you don't even hear it. But other than that, like, I don't think you really notice the air traffic noise at all if you're living in any of this Brookhaven area. Moving right down below, oh, I should mention Highway 13. This is also called Buford Highway, and it's kind of like the international highway. So if you're like a foodie and you like trying Asian or Korean barbecue or Indian, head over onto Buford Highway. You can find some great places all along here. I'm not that much of a foodie, so I couldn't give you recommendations, but I know a lot of people like to head out there and get more of an authentic cuisine experience right over there. Okay, so moving down south, we're kind of getting just below I-85, and I would say over here you're going to get a lot of ranch style homes, especially like in Sagamore Hills right here that I'm drawn over, and then in this Oak Grove area. But a lot of ranch style homes built in the 1950s, 1960s. But you'll also find, especially like in this Oak Grove area, which is kind of like right in here and over in here, you'll find a lot of newer custom built homes that will be anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 square feet, and you get a good yard, and the price point is a little bit better than if you lived anywhere closer into the city. Price point, for one of those big custom homes, anywhere from like $1 million to 1.3, 1.4 million. So I really think this is a great value if you're looking for kind of that bigger family style home, and you don't want to have to pay $2 million like you would if you lived over in closer into the city. This is a great option. A lot of people that work over at the Emory area will live over here because it is very close to Emory, which is right down here, and the new Children's Hospital will be going in right over here. So, if you're looking to work at the new Children's Hospital, living over here, you're looking at about a 10 to 15 minute commute at the most. So really just nice established areas over in here, lots of other little neighborhoods. Again, I've got vlog tours on so many of these neighborhoods, so if you're curious to learn more about them, you can go check them out on my channel. But moving right along, one thing I'll point out here is you got this little area called Toco Hills. This is a popular shopping center with a Publix, a Kroger, lots of casual eateries. So, a lot of people that live in these neighborhoods, North Druid Hills, North Decatur, which is kind of like this area, they're going to be going over here to do all of their shopping. So this is just north of the Emory campus area. But moving right along, we get into the city of Decatur, and this is definitely a sought out area, especially if you've got young children and you're looking for schools. City of Decatur is known for their schools. So that's the great thing. The downside is the property taxes are a little bit higher in the city of Decatur. And the home prices, they can be expensive for what you get. Like there's a lot of bungalows, brick style Tudor homes here, newer craftsmen as well. But sometimes you get, you can get a 1,600 square foot bungalow and you're still paying $700,000 to $800,000. Most of the homes, though, I really haven't seen too many go over that $2 million mark. So I would say, a good, decent home, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, with some good space, zoned to a city of Decatur school, you're probably looking at, 900 to 1.2, 1.3 million. Of course, there's exceptions to that and things can get a little bit more expensive, but I think on average, that's what you're looking at. But I love their little downtown area. They got a nice, they call it the Decatur Square, has lots of restaurants, just a very family-friendly vibe. So if you're looking for that, kind of a small town next to a big city, this is a really nice option. It's probably a 15 to 20 minute drive down into the Midtown area. So you're not really that far away. Avondale Estates is another cute little area. This is its own city. They have their own little walkable downtown area. Really reminds me of a Virginia Highland, just the type of architecture that you'll find here. Really nice, cute homes, good sized yards. People really, really like it. And they've got a couple different parks in the neighborhood. So that's also one to consider. It is kind of on the very far edge of I-285, so you're going to feel a little further out, but I know people that live in this area and love it. Scottdale, this is another city. They have some newer homes that are at a much more reasonable price point than you'd find anywhere surrounding it. You know, they're not really known for their school system as much. If you're into biking or running, the Stone Mountain Trail runs along this area, and it carries you out over into the Stone Mountain. But that's a nice trail that you can hop on. And it's a collection of kind of older homes and then some newer ones. Again, probably at a much more reasonable price point, anywhere in that $500 to $700 range is probably where I would put that at. If you go down a little bit further south, then you run into like the Belvedere Park, Candler, McGaffey, there's East Lake Terrace. These areas you're gonna find a lot smaller homes. Not all of them have been renovated. A little bit more worn in these areas, so the price point's going to be cheaper. So if your price point is more in that 300 to 500K range, you're gonna find a lot of homes that would fit that budget over in this area. Again, probably not considered as put together just in terms of amenities and that kind of thing. There's a lot of green spaces and that kind of thing, but just, not as much commercial that you'll find over here, except for in this little shopping area. Okay, going a little further east. Now we're getting into kind of very popular areas that are in the Atlanta area that, most people first look at and hear, oh, you need to look at home areas like Morningside, which is right over in here. There's Virginia Highland, Old Fourth Ward, there's Inman Park, Druid Hills, Candler Park, Lake Claire. Edgewood is right over in here, and then there's Reynoldstown, Cabbagetown, Grant Park, Ormwood Park, Glenwood Park, and East Atlanta. So these are all what we call in-town neighborhoods. They all have their own little flavor of what they're like. I feel like they all have their own personality. Some of them get really expensive. The most expensive are going to be this Morningside area and Virginia Highland. One, because they have some schools that are highly ranked, and two, I think just because it is close to the beautiful Piedmont Park. It's very close to Midtown, close to highway access, so you can get a nice home with a yard and be close to all the city life and everything. It's like it's the complete package. It's walkable, that kind of thing. So the home prices do get pretty steep in these areas. I'd say minimum $1 million, and then it goes up from there. And lots of bungalows, craftsman style, new construction. I'm starting to see in Morningside hitting 2.7 million, some $3 million homes. So it's definitely, it definitely gets pricey. Also, going through here, I haven't really mentioned this yet at all, but there is the Atlanta Beltline. And if you don't know what the Atlanta Beltline is, go check out my video on the Atlanta Beltline. I have a couple of them, but it is a 22-mile loop. It kind of runs roughly kind of like this. It's not all the way completed. It's supposed to be done by 2030. So it's a walking, jogging, biking path, and it's just really taken off in popularity. It's connecting all these different neighborhoods together. So it's, if you're a biker or a runner, like I like popping on here, taking a run, and I feel very comfortable running along here, by myself on a Saturday morning. You're gonna find a lot of joggers out. And especially on the weekends, this place will be, on a nice day, there'll be tons of people out. But the east side is a lot more built up than over on the west side right now. There's just a lot more commercial built up along the Beltline, so you can pop off, get something to eat or get something to drink. And so there's a little bit more to do on the east side versus the west side. But yeah, all these neighborhoods in here, like I said, I could talk about them each individually, but that would take way too long in this video. But they all are popular for different reasons. I'd say, if your budget's not quite ready for that $1 million plus, then I would consider areas like this area over here in Edgewood. You can still find some homes in Candler Park, or pop over into Ormwood Park. This is kind of just a neighborhood, a nice neighborhood, nothing really much going on here, although it is right next to the Beltline. But you can easily pop over to East Atlanta, which has its own little Village. East Atlanta Village is what it's called, with some shops, restaurants, and there's also Grant Park, which has the zoo, and they have some restaurants up here, and also a little shop over here with some restaurants over at an establishment called The Beacon. All of these, you know, if you're under the $1 million mark is where you're looking at. I would look kind of in these southern in-town neighborhoods, and you'll have a better chance at finding something. Again, I think they're all great, they're fun, and it just kind of depends on your style. They each have their own flair, but that's all I'll go on there. I should mention Midtown, you know, that's an obvious one, but Midtown is right here, right next to 7585. This is where you're gonna find a more high-rise condo living. That's basically what you're gonna find here. They also have a what they call the garden district, and it has some single family homes in here. Homes are gonna be packed in really, really tight. They have a mix of single family homes and multifamily units. So it's very tight in here, but fun place to be. You know, there's always something going on in Midtown. You can get over to the park, take a walk. That's a big draw too of the Midtown area. Downtown, there are some condos in the downtown area, not a ton. So I always kind of say, you know, if you're looking for a condo, I would prefer Midtown over downtown, just because there's a little bit more to do. This is a little bit more like hotel conferences, hotels, tourists, traps, that kind of thing, and then like the government offices. So not quite as a fan of downtown, although they're doing some big developments here that I think may change the scope of the downtown area. Atlanta's holding the 2026 FIFA World Cup, some games over here, and they're building a huge kind of sports complex, if you will, called Centennial Yards. This will have hotels, mixed use restaurants, that kind of thing. So I think that could really help blow up this downtown area. If you're a big fan of authentic lofts, I would go just south of the downtown area, and you're gonna get into an area called Castleberry Hill. It's very small. It's just right in here, but these are like really old, you know, factories that have been turned into lofts. So it's not for everybody. You need to just drive by and see if you feel comfortable there. Like, it's actually pretty walkable, and a lot of film crews will be in there. I'd say a lot of artsy people live there, but it's also very close to, you can see the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So you got close access to the highway. There's just really not like a grocery store very close by. So that's my only kind of complaint about the downtown Castleberry Hill area in general. Okay, so moving down south, let's skip down here. So then we get into areas that we kind of call we've lumped them in, just calling them like the Southwest Atlanta areas. And these have come a long, long way. It was kind of an area that wasn't getting a lot of love. And thanks to, in a big part, one, the Beltline that runs through here. But also there is a commercial development right in here called the Lee and White development. And that is a mixed use area with now a food hall and some breweries. So it's just kind of a cool place to pop off on the Beltline and hang out. And that has really drawn, especially kind of the younger crowd, to come in and move into these areas. You can get, it's a very historical area with some great bungalows. A lot of them have been renovated or restored. They're still doing a lot of renovations over in this area. This area just got hit really hard when there was the 2008 crash. So it just took a while for this area to pick up again. And now it's kind of there. So, you know, if you're looking for an area with potential future growth, I think the Southwest area is definitely one to look into. I really like Adair Park. They have some great cute bungalows there. I also like Capitol View Manor. Again, great bungalows, nice neighborhood. I like this Perkison Park that's in Capitol View. They have some really good tennis courts there. I don't think a lot of people know about that. And it's also right, you know, close to the Beltline, so you can pop on there and head over to the Lee and White district, which again is right over in this area. I also like the Westview area. That's right kind of in this area. They have their own little set of a couple of restaurants, a coffee shop, that kind of thing. So it gives you a little bit of that walkability. Also, you can get onto the Beltline over there. I forgot to mention over on this side, a couple of neighborhoods I think are going to really see a big change would be this Peoplestown and Chosewood Park. So Chosewood Park is right here and Peoplestown is just kind of like right here. I think these are poised for some major growth. I mean, Chosewood Park is changing by the day. They're building a lot of new townhomes and apartments over this way. They're even talking about putting in a Publix here. Peoplestown, again, small little community, nice, that I think has some potential to change because they're doing a food hall over here called Terminal South, and also the Beltline is right through here. Also, Summerhill is right north of it. When Summerhill has been booming, it is, you know, an area that the last, I'd say, 5 years has really transitioned. You know, the old Atlanta Braves Stadium was right here. It is now the Georgia State Stadium. And so, you know, you get like some of the college crowd here, but there's like a strip of restaurants now. And so it provides a lot of walkability, and the prices here, I'd say on the higher end of Summerhill is probably in that $800K range. Peoplestown, you can find something in the mid fours to the $600K range, and Chosewood Park, again, probably in that, maybe in the 300s, and more likely 450, 500. But I think that will probably change too as more development happens. They're putting in a development right here called the Sawtell. That's going to be another mixed use development, restaurants, housing, that kind of thing. So that's going to be huge for the South area because there really hasn't been a lot of commercial stuff happening over here. I think Lakewood Heights might be another one to watch. They have the amenities. They have you know, a big park over here. They have an amphitheater. It's a little bit worn over here is just the way I can best describe it. Is it just seems like it needs a little extra love, and but there's some cute homes in this area, and again, very easy to get over to I-85. And all they're really missing is kind of a bigger grocery store, but thanks to Summerhill, they just put it in a Publix, so they're not too far away from kind of that modern convenience that everyone needs. Okay, so skipping back over here. So again, a lot of these areas are areas where you can find homes in the 300 to 700K range. It really just depends on where you're looking, where that home is at, and how big it is, and how nice it's been renovated at that point. If you go a little further west, you're going to get into kind of like this Cascade area. You know, there's some nice homes over here. You get some big lots, a lot of ranch style homes again. There is like the Cascade Springs Nature Preserve. So if you're into like being outdoors and hiking and that kind of thing, you could hop over here. Just some really, you know, neighborhood feel. Not a lot going on, you know, right around it, but then, you know, there is this big Cascade shopping area where you're going to find like the Home Depot, a Kroger, that kind of thing. So that's, you know, if you're living over here, you're going to be probably heading out right by this Cascade and 285 to do all of your shopping, you know, for everyday type of needs. Okay, what am I missing? Let's see. I need to head a little further south. So a little further south, then we get into these areas like East Point, there's Hapeville, College Park. They call this the Tri-Cities. It's right by the Atlanta airport. Yes, you're going to hear some plane noise, but I really like Hapeville. I think this is a cool little neighborhood. They've got their own little downtown area with some local restaurants and pubs, that kind of thing. Yes, you do hear some like I said, air traffic noise, but they got a cute little area in here called Virginia Park with some great bungalows and newer craftsman style homes. And I'd say price range, you know, you can get something anywhere from the mid fours to the 600K price point. So it's really good. They've got like a new collection of single family homes right in here called Stillwood. That's another spot that, you know, you can get a decent new build. It kind of lives like a townhome, but in the mid fours up to like the low 600K price point. And then, you know, if your budget's only in that 250, 350 range, you know, looking over here, you can find a lot of, they're going to be smaller homes. They're only going to be, you know, 1,000 square feet or so. 1,000 up to, 1,400. So if you don't need a lot of square footage, you certainly could find something over in this area. And again, if you work at the airport, I mean, this would be like the best commute ever. Egan Park is kind of similar to like the Hapeville area with style of homes. Both East Point and College Park have their own little downtown areas, again, with some local restaurants, that kind of thing. And you can find some great ranch style homes in these areas. College Park, Craftsman as well. And price points in the mid twos is starting to get a little hard, but you might be able to find one here or there. I'd say, like, if you have a budget of the low threes to the 400K price point, you can find a lot of great ranch style homes kind of in these areas. So that kind of covers that area. And then going north, we'll go just north of I-20. Then we're getting into, let's see, we've got all of the HBU colleges. We got Clark, Morehouse, Spelman. They're all kind of like right in here. And then again, the Beltline is going right through these areas, roughly. Don't take my word on it, but it's roughly there. But you've got a lot of these little neighborhoods. These are going to be a little bit more transitional. There's really not a lot of grocery stores going on over here. That's my one thing that I'll mention about these areas, kind of a food desert. So a little bit more transitional. They are changing. I know they're also trying to do things to keep people that have been living there to stay there, not get priced out. That's the challenge with, I think, not just Atlanta, but any city where things are growing, is not trying to kick everybody out of the neighborhood. Here again, these are going to be older historical homes built in the 1920s. So they're going to have a small footprint. These aren't going to be your big, 40 or 4,000 square foot family homes. These are going to be, 3-2s, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,800 square feet. So you're not going to get a ton of square footage in these areas. But the great thing is that you are very close to, there's MARTA stations, there is the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the downtown area. So it's very, very close to all of the downtown attractions. But this has just been historically an area that has struggled a little bit more with really getting off the ground and improving the landscape a little bit. But an area to watch, I think, is like this Grove Park area. Microsoft bought some land right next to this Westside Park, which is the biggest park now here in the Atlanta area. It opened up just a couple of years ago. It's not quite all the way done, but there's some nice walking trails and that kind of thing. And so I think this area is still, they're building a ton of like townhomes over here. And these are areas to watch. Like Microsoft, like I said, bought some land here. They kind of put it on pause. They still own the land, and they were going to develop it and build like a office space and work with the community to really grow with the community, and things of that nature have been on pause. But I think, it's only a matter of time until some of these areas just continually improve. And what I mean by improving is just, there's just a lot of homes that have been neglected, that are abandoned and need help. So, a lot of opportunities there to renovate some homes and get some people a space to live in. So right on the other side of this Westside Park is a little area called Howell Park. I think this is kind of a little hidden gem. It's a cute little community, has some historic homes in there. It's also very close to, just like a mile away to, some hip areas here in like this Upper West Side. You got West Midtown right here by some restaurants, and you're right by Georgia Tech. If you're looking to be close to things, but your budget's more in that, 500 to 700K price point, this might be an option for you. Now, the one thing I will say about this is kind of how I describe a lot of this area right up in through here, is that if you're looking at anything in through here, it's going to feel very industrial, like a lot of commercial storage areas. There's, lots of railroad tracks coming through here. So a lot of potholes in the roads. So that's the best way I can describe it. It's kind of more raw feeling. So there's little pockets of neighborhoods. When you get in that pocket, it's like, wow, this is a cute neighborhood. But once you get out of it, it's like, oh, I'm just driving through this like random street, and a lot of, you see like barbed wire fences and storage units and that kind of thing. So that's my one, how I can best describe it. But there's some really cute neighborhoods in here. Like there's this Westside station. This is kind of a newer area, newer single family homes and townhomes. I'd say in that 700 to 800K price point. Townhomes maybe in the 600K price point. And right next to it is this other area called DuPont Commons. So these are like little planned neighborhoods. Very cute in here. There's a little walking trail that you can hop on and then get over to some places to eat over in here. There's also a Publix. It's a really nice Publix over here, right over in here. And then let's see, if you jump across the railroad tracks, again, there's also, they call it the West Highlands, and that's right over in here. And there's kind of like a newer section and an older section. So again, if your price point is in that 500 to 700K price point, you can, and you want kind of like a neighborhood feel, you can find that right here. But once you get out of that neighborhood and you're driving down like Perry Boulevard, it's just very barren. That's the best way I can explain it. Until you get over here into the West Midtown area where there's tons of restaurants and boutique shops and that kind of thing. So yeah, this West Midtown area is definitely a hot place to be. Lots of I'd say a lot more apartments than there are condos and townhomes, but fun place to go out for a date night. And then you also have Atlantic Station nearby, which is kind of like an outdoor mall. Again, a lot more apartments and some condo buildings. And then south of it, you've got Georgia Tech, the campus there. Right above it is Home Park. So this is kind of a neighborhood where college kids will rent houses, that kind of thing. And of course, Midtown is right across the street. And there are some cute neighborhoods. Loring Heights, very small neighborhood, just a very convenient location if you're trying to be close to the city. Prices here will be a little bit cheaper than if you were looking at a house on the other side of I-85. So you can find something in that 600 to 800K price point. Same thing with Underwood Hills, some cute little streets in through this neighborhood, a mix of condos, townhomes, and single family homes. Again, a little bit more industrial, but a lot of fun things right over here. You've got Topgolf. There is right across the street, the Chattahoochee Food Works. So you got some fun things right over there that you can go to. Okay, so, and I would say if you go a little further north, it gets even a little bit more transitional over here, just more like pockets of new construction mixed with some older homes that need some love, that kind of thing. Now, if you go up just north of here, this Pacey's area is actually part of Buckhead. This is a really nice area, to be honest. Pacey's, this Margaret Mitchell, very beautiful areas, very, very woodsy. You can find some big homes in this area, especially this Pacey's area, big lots, mansion style homes. I mean, Tyler Perry used to have a home here. He sold it to Steve Harvey. And there's also some nice private schools, Lovett and Westminster. They're over here. So if you're looking at some of those popular private schools, they're over in this area. Then we also have pretty much the last thing to talk about here is there's this Vinings area. This is a city, very pretty area right along the Chattahoochee River. There's you know, it gets expensive in Vinings. There's some condos, there's townhomes and single family homes, but it does get expensive. And they have a nice, cute little downtown area. It's also very nice and convenient to Truist Park, where the Atlanta Braves is, and the Battery. There's a bunch of restaurants around there. So that's a fun area to be right next to. So there you go. In a nutshell, that is kind of what you're going to find here if you're looking inside the perimeter of the Atlanta area. Wow, that was a lot to spit out about these neighborhoods. I hope you could follow along a little bit here. To be honest, it's really hard to describe all of them in one quick video, but hopefully this gives you a little idea of some neighborhoods you might be interested in looking at. But reach out to me, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email if you're thinking about making a move tomorrow or next year. Let's have a conversation. We can talk about things you like or you don't like, or maybe you want to be around. Sometimes budget is a big factor, and we can go from there. So don't hesitate to reach out. Can't wait to help you out. But as always, if you see me out in the wild, make sure you say hello. And until next time, you guys, I'll see you around the neighborhood.